Hi everyone, I'm here to show you the exciting new features of TMS Aurelius 4.0. There are three major features in Aurelius 4 and I will show you right away from using it. So the first one is that we have now a TAureliusConnection component which allows design time configuration of database connection. In previous versions, as you might know, we have Aurelius adapts an existing database component. For example, you can use DB Express, FireDeck, UniDeck, ADO. So we have to drop, either use the Aurelius wizard or drop a component here, FireDeck component for example, and configure it as we are used to. I will connect to this database here in SQL Server, Northwind here. So let me configure it here. And check if it's working. Okay, my FireDAC component is connecting to it. And then I can double click AureliusConnection and use its dialog to configure. So for example, use an existing data access component. AureliusConnection will already show me the available components that I can adapt. I just choose it, it automatically chooses the adapter name. Of course, I can adapt any type of components that it's supported by these available adapters. All these components are supported and it retrieves the SQL dialect. It's the same concept we had before, but now we have it at design time. I can test the connection here. So it's very handy to configure the database connection. And as before, we still need to work with Aurelius. The key type is the IDB connection interface. But now it's very easy to grab it now. Since I have configured my TAureliusConnection component, I just use AureliusConnection and .create connection. You can see here that, and that's it. That's all I need to do to have my AureliusConnection. Note that the component will automatically add the needed units. For example, Aurelius SQL, MS SQL here, Aurelius schema, Aurelius drivers, FireDAC. So this design time component is very handy for that. You don't need to manually add unit names and configuration, manual configuration, etc. It's very handy. And the second nice feature is that now, since you have design time support, you can, from the IDE, you can import an existing database structure and generate Aurelius classes directly here. So since I have my connection configured here, if I right click, I choose generate entities from database. It will connect to the database, extract the available tables from the database, and I have several options here that I can choose. I can choose the tables that I want to export. I can choose a lot of options here that you can bypass, of course, to choose how to name classes and properties, what would be the cascades, a lot of options here. That's all documented in the manual. And I can preview the source code, and if I click OK here, I have my entity classes generated here from the IDE directly. It's very handy. And the third major feature, which is, in my opinion, is the most interesting one, is that actually I don't need FireDeck anymore to connect to SQL Server. Aurelius now has a concept of native driver support, so I can connect to the database directly. This was possible before with SQLite, but now I also have Microsoft SQL Server. So I can use the same settings here, similar parameters to connect to the database. I can also test the connection here, and my connection is working now. I can delete the FireDAC component here, and the same way I can generate it entities here. So now we don't need FireDAC or DB Express or ADO or UniDAC to connect to the data to Microsoft SQL Server. That's very nice, and we have noticed improvement in performance by 20% compared to FireDAC and other components, because we have full control over it, of course. So to finish, I will show you how to create a new Xdata server using the wizard, and the wizard is also a little bit updated to reflect the new changes. If, for example, I ask for a TMS Xdata server and don't save the project, I choose the application type, the URL of my server, and now I have a similar option here. I can use an adapter. If I choose FireDAC, the wizard will create an FD connection component like before, but now I have the option to use a native direct connection to the SQL Server, and the wizard will create the files. And the nice thing here is that I have to configure my connection here. Test. And since I have now the option to generate entities from the database, I have my entities here. If I just press run, without even save my project, I have my Xdata server working nicely, already connected to the database. It's snaps like this to generate the classes and have data available from a REST server. Here are the customers in JSON format, and as we know, with Xdata, it has a powerful search filter and ordering, etc. And I can use all the info here just to show the new possibilities with the design time AureliusConnection, and it's connecting to the SQL Server directly. So I hope that you have enjoyed the new Aurelius features. I must stress that even though this is a 4.0 version, these are not the only features that are available since the 3.0 version. Between the 3 and the 4 we had 13 releases. So these are the features of 4.0, but we had a 3.13 on July, 3.12 on May, and these go back to lots and lots of new features since the release of 3.0 version back on 2016. So lots of Aurelius is being updated, lots of new features over the months, but this 4.0 release is very major one with these new features. I hope you have enjoyed the new Aurelius features. Visit our TMS business website, biz.tmssoftware.com, to learn more about Aurelius Xdata. There are a lot of videos here, information, tutorial videos, and trial downloads. And stay tuned and contact us if you need any help with TMS Aurelius and TMS Business. Thank you.